pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take the roll.
Trustee Spurling? Yes. Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Heinz? Trustee Youngerman?
Here.
Trustee Marisak?
Here.
Trustee Bond?
Here.
Okay, at this time, we always have public participation. You have a 2-minute opportunity to say anything to the board. We probably won't answer at this time, but we will take your thoughts into consideration. Any member of the public is welcome to speak, and if you'd like to, step right up to the microphone and say something. Either one? Okay. We'll go on with the consent agenda. Minutes of the village board meeting of February 12th, 2018. Executive session minutes of February 12th, 2018. Accounts payable through February 22nd, 2018, in the amount of $354,161.44. Ordinance 1801 adopting the 2014 National Electric Code, second reading, and Ordinance 1802 adopting the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code, second reading. I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Bond?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
And Trustee Youngerman?
Here. Yes. Confused, sorry.
Okay, items for separate action. Street sweeping contract with LSR Clean Sweep of West Chicago. Todd?
Thank you. As recommended through best management practices, I recommend we continue the practice of 5 street sweeping cycles per year. Frequent sweeping rotation helps us efficiently remove debris from the roadways, reduce the amount of debris that infiltrates the storm sewer collection system, and also reduces sedimentation within our drainage basins. Over the past few seasons, the village has enjoyed working with Hoban Clean Sweep. They changed names last year, or they were acquired in 2016, which is cause for the name change, to Lakeshore Recycling Systems. It would still be a 5 sweeps per year on a 6-week rotation, May through October. We've typically brought this item before the board annually, but they're now of the same family as our trash hauling contractor, so we thought it might be wise to try and get on a more lengthy contract and enjoy some better savings through that. They've offered us a 3- and a 6-year option. The 6-year option is a little bit cheaper. Again, that would align us with the expiration of the trash or waste hauling contract. If the board's agreeable to that, I would recommend we go that route. However, the 3-year is still an option if you prefer to go that direction. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain those.
I have a question. I know last year or the year before when we were looking at this, we had switched a couple of the dates of when they were sweeping. Can you remind me? It was after...
We tried to switch to align with Montgomery Fest. It really doesn't work out very well because they start at the beginning of the May and they go every 6 weeks. And so the way it falls, it's almost like Montgomery Fest is
right in the middle.
dead set between. Given the priority of getting the parade route cleaned up in advance of the parade, I find it's best to just expend the couple $100 extra and do a special sweep of the parade route. We have to sweep it again after the parade anyhow. So I personally, I think it's best to just leave the 2 programs kind of separate and not try and monkey with the dates too much.
Okay. And I have no issues with the 6-year contract.
Go ahead, Stan.
I was looking to see if we had a performance clause or an out in the agreement.
There is an out. It's not defined there, but I did speak with the sales representative, and she's agreed to let us write that in however we see fit before they sign off on it. So that would be done.
Okay.
Teresa, anything?
I'm okay with the 6-year.
Everybody happy with the 6-year?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved. Make a motion to approve the, a 6-year contract with LSR Clean Sweep LLC of West Chicago.
Second?
Roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
And Trustee Lee.
Yes. Okay, our second item for separate action, Resolution 18005, authorizing the execution of a petition for additional funds for the Light Road Grade Crossing Project regarding Illinois Commerce Commission, stipulated agreement 1640, improvements to Light Road crossing of BNSF Railroad. Is that Rich?
Engineer Wallers will handle that.
All right.
This is a project that we started in 2012. Happy to report that it's complete. So it took a lot longer than I think any of us conceived it would, but this is funding that was provided by the ICC to make that crossing safe. And anyway, the work is now complete. This will be the final resolution request for the final invoices. So what we're asking for this evening is approval of the resolution authorizing the execution of the petition for additional funds for the Light Road project. And this will close it out. I was told today that we do have the final waivers for the final payout, so that'll be done, but that amount was included in the resolution amount.
Any questions? We've talked
Motion to
about it
approve.
long enough.
Second.
Roll.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
C for item separate action, award of contract to Builders Paving LLC in the amount of $2,585,585 for the 2018 Infrastructure Roadway Program. Pete again? Or Rich?
Yeah, I can cover.
Either one. Go ahead.
Go ahead. So this is the infrastructure road program that we discussed previously. It went out for bids in January, and we did get good bids. I think they were about almost 10% below estimate. We've worked with builders in the past. They've done a good job for us. We're looking forward to having them back this year. Be happy to take any questions. We did have 4 folks that pulled plans, but only 2 submitted bids. It was advertised locally, but also in the IDOT bulletin, which is where most of the contractors are looking for this type of work. So, and I think, again, getting it out early is the key to getting the good bid prices that we've been getting the last few years. So this has worked out really well, and we're happy to bring it back for approval. So that's where we're at. Happy to take any questions.
They did a lot of the work around Aurora also for Geneva, and they've been around even though they're out of what, Hillside? I think it is.
They have a plant in Elmer, so
Yeah.
they're locally operated as well.
It's nice to see them come in so close. I mean, they're pretty close to each other as well, which is nice.
So moved.
Second?
Roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yay.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes. D of the items for separate action, professional service agreement with Engineering Enterprise List for 218 Infrastructure Road Program Construction Engineering. Pete
I'll take that one.
or Todd, okay?
In keeping with the road program bids that Engineer Wallers just discussed, I'd like to recommend that the board approve the professional services agreement for construction engineering oversight and programming. The proposed fee associated with the attached agreement is $262,577, which is under budget for the work. If there's any questions about that, myself or Engineer Wallers may be able to answer those now.
This
Questions?
This
Go
is
ahead.
for the work for the next cycle? Okay.
So this is just, is connected to the bid we just did before that?
Correct.
Right. Okay, any more questions? Teresa, you awake down there? Just, okay.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Roll.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
And Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Okay, we only have 2 items for discussion tonight. Fiscal year 2019 capital and other funds budget. Justin?
Thank you. In front of the board tonight is the 2019 capital and other funds budget. There are 6 funds that have been detailed on the second page of the report in the packet. Just a couple of items that I wanted to point out. The first one is the non-home rule sales tax of $3.1 million budgeted for fiscal year 19. And then the infrastructure road program that was just approved. That includes engineering, both the construction, the actual construction, the construction engineering, the construction itself, and then also design engineering for the following year. Also included is the Concord and Galena traffic signal that will be shared 50-50 with Village of Oswego. And then the shared use path program, the first year of that has been included in the budget as well. The other thing that I wanted to point out was with the refuse fund, Todd mentioned it briefly, we are saving our residents nearly $130,000 per year with our new contract with DC Trash, so I did want to highlight that. If there's any other questions, I can answer those at this time.
And the $130,000 a year savings with DC Trash is a pass-through. It's being saved directly by residents. Montgomery keeps nothing of that, correct? Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Justin. The other item for discussion is purchasing policy update.
Thank you. Also in front of the board tonight is with Standard & Poor's, the last time we had a rating, we discussed our different policies. At the last board meeting, the board did approve the financial investment and debt policies. In front of the board tonight is the purchasing policy and then also the purchasing card policy. It is to formalize our current procedures and then implement best practices with other communities. So if there's any questions, specific questions about those 2 policies, I can answer those. I will not go through them in detail at this time, but.
We had a current policy in place, and this is updating it?
So I did look through and I did not see a specific purchasing policy. There are policies that cover specific positions, but this would kind of
Encompass it
wrap
all.
everything together.
We've had general guidelines in the past about like when you need written quotes or verbal quotes and that kind of thing, obviously the bidding. But this is really the first formal, full policy we've had.
How many credit cards have we got out floating around?
I was asking if I could.
Right now, that would be 6.
6. And you handle them at the end? Okay, or does Justin?
The purchases?
Yeah.
I mean, we get one bill that goes to all of us that have it, so we all see all the charges on it.
All right.
We sign off. Where actually the purchasing card purchasing card policy would expand that. It would give cards to some other, but they wouldn't be credit cards, they'd be purchasing cards, and so they'd be limited to what stores and what uses they can charge on them. but to make it easier, because right now, there are times where, our cards are needed by, other people need to charge something, and so they have to get to us, so we are looking, there would be some additional cards out with the purchasing card policy.
Who currently has a card?
Myself and the department heads, is that it? Somebody else must have one.
President Brawley.
Oh, okay.
Dan, you got one, police department out there?
You, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan and the other department heads have one.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. How about new and unfinished business? Teresa?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing?
I have 3 items.
Go ahead.
Brian Lane, as I understand, Engineer Wallers, you're working on the engineering calculations. They are going to be presented at the next board meeting, at which point we're going to make a decision and
So
send things out to bid.
yes, we are working on the plans. The topo is complete. Plans are being prepared now. We'll be in a position to review those with you at the next meeting or the next meeting after that, whichever works out schedule-wise. But we'll be in a position to bid as soon as we get clearance from ComEd.
When do you anticipate clearance from ComEd?
I don't know. We're working with community development on the submittal. Once we get into the system and can talk to a human being and try to figure that out, we'll let you know exactly when we think we can go. I don't have any objection to bidding it out in anticipation of getting the permit, so we're ready to roll. So I think we can work on trying to move the schedule forward as quickly as we can.
I don't want the waiting on ComEd to turn into like a waiting on the state, like it did, because obviously the state, they can't, they're not effective, I think is a nice word, and they can't get us even simple information so we can make our proper calculations and stuff. Jeff, this will be on the agenda for the next meeting, correct? We're not going the meeting after that? This will be on the agenda for the next meeting?
Sure.
Okay. Second item, Chad Court's stop sign. I had mentioned that at the last board meeting. What do we know?
So we looked at it on Wednesday and, our last Wednesday. We've got a stop sign just 1 block away from it, so putting another stop sign that close, we're not sure if that's gonna be a effective way to manage the traffic there. So we were gonna take a closer look at those, kind of the neighborhood and maybe try to see some additional activity there. When we were there, there wasn't a lot of traffic, so it wasn't clear why we would have needed the stop sign there, the 2-way stop sign there.
What is the stop sign, what are my cross sections? It's Chad Court and what? And Adam and Chad, okay. So Adam has a stop sign 1 block to the east at Prescott. But Chad Court, which is it's got a decent length of road and that court there is nothing there to prevent vehicles, so you could actually run into a vehicle that's coming down Adam.
It's consistent with many subdivisions in town that are uncontrolled. When there's no control, it's assumed that drivers in every direction proceed with caution. I don't want to try and speak for Engineer Waller, but one of the concerns with putting stop signs so close together is that they lead drivers to not obey, even more so than you may see. So if they're stopping at Prescott, they will feel the need to potentially roll through that one at Chad, giving others a false sense of security.
What about yield signs? In the east side, there's every other street stop sign, the next one's gonna be yield, the next one's yield, the next one's stop. So your traffic, you still gotta watch out, because yield doesn't mean anything to a lot of people. But I don't know if we have a lot of yield signs in Montgomery, you know.
I mean, it's definitely something we can look further at. I guess we weren't contemplating yield signs, but it's something we could sure consider. Do we have any, I mean, I don't know if we have had time to get the accident history, Chief, but
Yeah, no, I did look into that. Haven't seen anything significant at all.
So Chad is a one-block street, if I'm seeing it correctly.
But the far end of Chad on the south end has a stop sign. Why wouldn't you put one on the north end?
I don't know that I can necessarily answer that. I mean, the stop signs are often placed based on traffic counts and the needs. As I said, there's many intersections in town that are uncontrolled, and that's consistent with many other communities. In communities where you do see an abundance of stop signs, you also tend to see more problems with violations.
But I see is that property that is along Adam, that vacant property that is zoned retail and commercial, once it's developed, we're gonna have substantially more traffic along Adam.
That's correct, but if I understood the question in the last meeting, it was based a little bit in the direction of cars gaining speed as they proceed towards Gordon. Placing a stop sign at Chad still gives drivers that opportunity because from Chad to Gordon, the distance is great enough that speed could be obtained. So I guess it really depends on what we're trying to control. If we're trying to control speed, I don't think a stop sign at Chad is going to do the trick. And it doesn't seem that the
Are you putting
necessary measures for it are there, the accident data or the traffic counts.
Are you talking about putting a stop sign on Adam at Chad? I'm talking about putting a stop sign at Chad Court and Chad on Chad and Chad Court, allowing Adam to continue to flow.
so you're talking about a
Okay.
two-way stop sign.
That I didn't understand in the last meeting, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's a different kind of scope of review. We can certainly look at that, but again, it's a one-block street, so the people using the street are probably the homeowners for the most part. Many of them already know to stop there. We can certainly look at it with those glasses on versus trying to control speed on Adam, which is
Please,
what I
yeah,
thought.
no, what I'm trying to prevent is Chad headed north or Chad Court headed south, entering that street and having a car coming through, continuing down Adam, is what I'm trying to prevent.
I got you.
Understood.
That makes sense.
Everybody loves stop signs at their corners, but there's none on Main Street North up there by Ashland, but there's one by my house. In fact, I talked to Denny Schmidt about it one time, and like Denny said, maybe it shouldn't be there. I would say 8 out of 10 just make the turn and don't even slow down. And now you got the railroad tracks and people coming, but it's just not, it's only a block, you know, but.
My last item, at the last meeting, there was a gentleman here speaking about the detention basins and the DNR and how resources and how we can effectively enforce those. Are there any updates?
I was looking into getting signage. I can't give an update on enforcement.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay. So in a couple of weeks, are we going to be presented with a choice of signage, or are they just going to be put up, or?
I don't have an answer yet.
Okay.
My grandson, who is going to have a degree in DNR from Wisconsin, has said they make those signs standard, the bass, how many inches, the walleye, how many inches. And like I said at the meeting, I think a lot of those people that fish there don't know a bluegill from perch. And if they seen that sign and read them, and I think you can get those from the DNR, he's going to check into that. In fact, he even gave me a name of a DNR guy out of South Elgin. I just haven't called him yet. But
But I think when Chris was here, the gentleman that spoke, his concern is that the people are taking the fish.
right,
And I thought we were talking about trying to do some kind of signage for catch and release
right.
to help encourage
Those
that.
those kind of signs they have to catch and release, and you put those around those ponds that he's talking about, because my grandsons even fish there. We catch and release, but he has fish there too. That and carp are a lot in that area.
Those are my items. Thank you.
Stan?
As a follow-on, there have been some conversations with the police and the village attorney about empowering, if Montgomery were to adopt DNR ordinances with regard to fishing licenses and limits, the police would be able to write a ticket for that if they chose to do so. And I think there's maybe no cost to the village, but there's homework on that still being done. But it might be a useful tool just to make sure people are properly supporting the sport fishing in Illinois.
Then our police would have to figure out what's a bass and what's a bluegill.
Yeah,
But it's a, and like I told you, fishing license in Illinois is like 65 cents, but to get them anywhere, it's $7. So the fishing license, you don't have a lot of money going back into the DNR at 65 cents, so it's not a moneymaker. It is for Walmart for the $7.
I'm happy that people are that interested in our basins and sport fishing. It's good for the
Yeah.
community.
I was very happy he came. Any other discussion, questions? If not, well, future meetings, Planning Commission meeting is this Thursday at March 1st, 7 o'clock. Village Board meeting will be Monday, March 12th, 7 o'clock. Beautification Committee meeting, March 14th, 6 o'clock. Historic Preservation, Monday, March 19th, 6:30. And Committee of the Whole meeting, we didn't cancel that yet, did we?
Yes.
No. Okay, Committee of the Whole meeting, Tuesday, March 20th at 7, and the Village Board meeting, last one on March 26th at 7 o'clock. Other than that, any other questions? If not, adjourned.
Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn?
Make the motion, but I just wanted to hit this once, you know, I never hit it at the
So
end.
moved.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
And Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a aquatic life.
Denny.
So, whatever. Okay. That was pretty benign.